Heroes who once served our country now living deep in the woods. Across the Olympic Peninsula, there are an untold number of veterans living in isolation.
Well, tonight, our Brandi Kruse introduces us to the woman who has dedicated her life to finding those veterans and then offering them a chance to return to society and rebuild their lives.
There's vets sprinkled all over the Olympic Peninsula.
Sherry Tinker searches these woods often, looking for people who many times would rather not be found.
It horrified me how many vets are out in the woods, how many vets are out there that no one is helping.
She says many of them come to this expansive wilderness to escape.
There's a guy that has been out in the woods at the Hoko since 1972. When I met him, he was living on off of barnacles. Just this thin little wisp of a man.
And some of them, she says, try to escape the battles they still fight in their own minds.
The big part of my PTSD is anxiety with crowds, and I still can't go into a crowd today without being hypervigilant. Hopefully it's something I can overcome one day.
Is it still a struggle? Is it still a daily part of your life?
Very much so. Yeah, it's very much a day-to-day struggle.
Ken Larson, a 19-year veteran of the Marines, did tours in both Iraq and Afghanistan. He was homeless, drug addicted, and battling PTSD when he first met Sherry. He'd been invited to live at Sarge's place in the town of Forks, a place where veterans can stay while they try to rebuild their lives.
So show us around.
So we have 12 bays for men and women.
Sherry is the director.
A typical bay, not much space. We've got the foot locker, and we have just a little bit of storage area up above. And this is cozy for 1 year's time.
But cozy is just fine for people like Michael Polinek.
I kind of like it here, you know, away from the hustle and bustle of the big city.
He's a 28-year-old Army veteran who found himself without a job and without a place to live. Sitting in the rain on a bench in Squim, someone told him about Sarge's place.
It's done a lot for me. It's given me a place to come home, wind down if I need to, if I've been out job hunting all day.
Some veterans have a hard time adjusting to life at Sarge's, especially those who come here from the woods. Living back in society, surrounded by four walls, can be an unfamiliar feeling.
I think some of them, you know, kind of feel like they're cooped up at times. But they get through it. It's actually pretty quaint. It's just about the right size kitchen.
Ken is now house manager at Sarge's. He gets his own apartment and gets to help other veterans like himself.
We can't save them all, but the veterans got to know that we're here to help.
In the expansive wilderness of the Olympic Peninsula, Sherry says it's impossible to know just how many veterans are out here living off the grid. She has more stories than we have time to share, like the story about that wisp of a man who's lived here in the woods since 1972.
He was a Navy corpsman at 18. He was on a boat right off of Vietnam, and they were bringing all those injured and dead people onto his boat. He saw such horror, I can't even fathom what he saw.
While she knows many of the veterans out here will turn down the help she has to offer, content with living in the woods, Sherry still feels like she has a duty to try.
Here we are out in the rain, and you slog through the woods to find these people who oftentimes don't even want the help that you have to give them. What the heck is in it for you? What do you get out of it?
We owe it to them. Anybody that signs up for the military has signed on the dotted line and they say, I am willing to die for my country. That's really what that signature means. And that's powerful to me. That's respect. And if I can help them in any fashion, it's my duty as an American.
Brandi Kruse, Q13, Fox News.